search term online is how to fix a sink, how to save money. At Honda Weatherford, we are the how in how to save more. Like a new Honda Accord, now $249 per month. I-20 exit 406 and at HondaWeatherford.com.
Hold on, guys. Let me fix something right quick. There we go. What's up, y'all? There we go. It's better. All righty. Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? How are we doing today? I'm a little early, so we're not gonna get started just yet. But hold on. Cool. What up, Tammy? What's up, y'all? Hey, Danielle, how you doing? What up, Andrea? So yeah, we got a few minutes, about 4 minutes to get started. I'm actually, well, it'll be too much moving around. So I actually wanted to change something right quick, but this is fine. What up, Nefeli? Norma, how you doing? Hope you guys are having a wonderful holiday weekend. I'm sorry I had to do the training on this weekend, so I know many people won't be on, but uh, many people won't be on, but definitely people will watch the replay. So actually, I've had a pretty busy day, guys, but I'm glad you guys showed up and are here. We're not gonna get started just yet. We'll give it a little bit more time. I'm actually in the comments reading you guys' comments, so feel free to comment away. And so today, though, it will be a lot of Q&A. Okay, this is a bonus training. These influencer trainings are bonus trainings that I'll just give you guys because just showing love to you. Eventually, next year when TIC rolls around, this will be actually cost. It'll be a part of it. But it's just bonus trainings because some of you ask, I mean, a lot of you, not even some of you, ask me so much about like, how do I do this? How do I grow my business? And so I've, obviously I know how to do that. Just over background, I've been doing this for 2009. It's been my life as far as me making a living from it since 2012. I stopped working completely and have been doing rehab time since. And I'm very purpose minded, but obviously we know you have to be business minded in order to run a business, right? You need revenue in order to sustain a business and keep it going and keep it growing. And so I today want to show you just the ways you can make revenue, the ways I make revenue, some marketing strategies that I think are very important. Also, learning, like, the education part is very important. And so you guys ask tons of questions, not right now, but towards the end, I'll open up for questions. You guys ask tons of questions. So the training might be 30, I say that, but it probably be longer. It might be 30 minutes or so, but knowing me, it could be longer. But yeah, so hopefully I can kind of give you guys confidence on moving forward to growing your business. I don't like to throw numbers around, but I've been able to employ, people, my friends. I've been able to give jobs to my friends. I've been able to impact the world. When people talk about money, people get kind of iffy about money. Money is a tool, just like social media is a tool. It depends on how you use that tool. And I use that tool to bring, betterment into the world, to provide people with jobs, to bless people. I call it angel investments, where people don't even know where it comes from. And I'm able to do that because of the things we talked about throughout this whole year. You can't just build a business. Well, you can, but when you build a purpose business, as I like to call it, organization, whatever word you want to use, everything we talked about understanding your magnet, making sure it's real for you. Like the past influencer trainings we talked about are very important, guys. So I want to be clear with that. You know, we talk about today, it's only fueled by the things we previously talked about. And I'm not going to talk about, you know, understanding what your magnet is. I'm not going to talk about understanding what your brand is. We talked about those in previous trainings. But how I operate, it's a real thing. I operate from a way of, and by the way, the training hasn't started yet. I'm just talking until 5. Oh, it's actually 6 o'clock now. But I operate from a way of, instead of going to chase things, instead of chasing opportunities. And when I say that, it doesn't mean I don't work hard. It doesn't mean I don't seek, you know, I don't seek relationships, whatever like that. But I don't chase stuff. Like if stuff is running away, I don't chase it. I don't lose myself chasing things like a lot of people do. And so, what up, TIC? Are y'all joining? What up, Michael? What up, Robin? I believe in becoming a magnet and you attract certain things. I believe in having, what are these noises I keep hearing? I believe in having, you know, you bringing it to you, being that magnet. And I'm actually in my office space today, so it's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and get started. Welcome everybody coming on here. And like I said, today, you know, ask a lot of questions. Don't write them right now because I'm not going to be able to see them. But definitely I'm going to open it up and tackle you guys' questions the best way I can do that, okay? So be ready to ask your questions towards the end. This is, like I said, this is a bonus training. It will be more Q&A. I'm just going to try to go through this and tell you guys how I've done this and what I've done, the mistakes that I made, and how you can turn your pain into profit. And I think we all can do that. And so today somebody sent me a, to get right into this, somebody sent me, and I know about it because obviously I recorded the video, but me and Target, right? And it's like my video in Target and people are so going crazy over it. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're in Target. This is crazy. I see you on the screens. And it is kind of surreal. And I haven't seen it in person yet. Maria saw it, but I haven't seen it in person. And, you know, while that excited me, the excitement didn't come from like being on a Target screen. Like, that's cool. But I sat there and I thought about, like, for a minute today, I was like, wow, like everything I've been through, like in my life, like the hard times, the struggles, the pain, the disappointments, the setbacks, all of that, like got me into Target. You know, and I want this to be like inspiration for you because so many times we count ourselves out. So many times we think that our life is over, right? Our situation is our final destination. Let me be an example for you how you literally can turn your pain into profit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about just profit monetary, right? That's the simple thing. I'm talking about just profit in general, like of becoming the greatest you and having people be influenced by that, having, you know, becoming a better person for your family, for your community, etc., providing more opportunities for your friends, being able to give back. Like there's so many ways that pain can help you because you have to understand this. Pain qualifies you, guys. Like pain makes you an expert. I would not be able to write the greatest you book that's in Target if it wasn't for my story, right? There's no book without my story. There's no story without going through struggle. Nobody wants to hear a great story all the time. Like people want to hear how you got through it. And so let that be inspiration to you. Let that impact your life because I know a lot of us in TIC are in moments in times in our life. And listen, I'm not exempt from it. I still go through my times, but I know some of us are in like that chapter that like sucks. And you're like, man, how do I get out of this chapter? This is crazy. I've been there. But just let that be inspiration to you, everything that I do, to say, wow, I actually can use this. You know, the famous, I want to say famous, but the popular illustration that I always use is the trail. It's like I'm able to give you a map because I've hiked the trail. I wouldn't be able to give you a map if I didn't hike the trail. I'm able to help you get through it. I'm able to help you get through it because I've been through it. So just think about that. And that's how you can turn your pain into your profit. You can turn your pain into your best friend. So now I look back, I'm thankful. Like the things that I used to complain about, the things that I was like, why me? Like this sucks. I'm angry. I'm pissed at the world. I now look back and I'm thankful because there was a bigger purpose to that situation. And so I want you guys to think about that when you go through things. So now when I go through things, my mindset is shifted to that perspective, right? It's my power. And I'm like, man, like, okay, I'm going to be able to not only help myself get through it, but I'm going to be able to teach my children. I'm going to be able to teach TICers how to be able to get through these times that I'm going through. So think about that. So let's move forward. When it comes to building your business, okay, and building your organization, whatever word you want to call it, but regardless, it's a business. Trust me, whatever you're doing, whether it's a nonprofit, it's a business, whether it's a for-profit, it's a business. And I have both. I have a nonprofit on the rehab time side. I have a for-profit on the Trent Shelton Company side. So I know both areas of that. And honestly, it was me being self-taught. I'm gonna be real with you. A lot of things, I'm not self-made, but I'm self-taught. A lot of things I've learned. A lot of things I put into work, and I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. Uh, to really challenge you guys, right? I didn't have somebody hold my hand. I didn't have a coach like you guys have right now to tell me, oh, this is how you do this is how you do that. I literally had to figure it out on my own, and I did the research on my own. I built Rehab Time and Trent Shelton companies from the ground up, straight up, with a lot of help, with a lot of support from you guys, with a lot of people, volunteers that believed in it, but I built it from the ground up. But I want to be real with you and transparent, something I never talked about before. But I was thinking about, like, what are the mistakes that I made that I can share with you? Because I don't want you to go down the same road that I went down. I don't want you to make the same mistakes. You know, people say experience is the best teacher. I disagree. I disagree. I believe that someone else's experience is the best teacher. Of course, going through it yourself can teach you things that other things can't. But why go through it when you can learn from somebody else? So I want to talk about 5 mistakes I made in building my business, in building Trent Shelton companies, and building Rehab Time. Number 1, and I see this too often. Number 1, I focused on branding too much, okay? And don't take that out of context. I'm not saying that you don't need to focus on branding, but I was so wrapped in the logo. I was so wrapped in looking like a business instead of actually becoming a business. I was so wrapped up in faking it till I make it instead of actually putting the necessary steps to make it. And I see so many people do that right now. They're so focused on the mission statement. They're so like, I'm talking about writing it out. And listen, I'm not saying don't do these things, by the way, because I did these things and I believe you should have a mission statement and a vision. But I feel like so many people are so wrapped up in the things that kind of matter that they never start. And so I feel like one mistake I made was that I was so wrapped up into the branding. What's the colors and what's the logo? And I wanted to look like a business instead of putting the work to actually be a business. Let me see what y'all saying. Okay, for some things it is and some things not. That's why. Yeah. So that's one mistake that I made. All right. I focused on the things that really didn't matter too much. I focused on the external things that made me look good to everybody else, but was really not moving me forward at the end of the day. Okay. So that's one. The second thing that I did that I made a mistake in building my business was hiring the wrong people. Let's talk about this for a second. It is very important, guys, very important who you bring in to your company, who you bring into your business, who you bring into your organization. Very important. So the first thing I did was I didn't have any money, obviously. I hired family, I hired friends. Okay? Nothing wrong with that at all. But a lot of times, family and friends don't have the skills to help you. Like, you just puts people in positions. Like, I was giving people titles that they ain't never worked in their life, but I was just so into looking like a business and operating like a business. I was just putting people in positions that they weren't qualified for. Now, if you have family and friends that are qualified, that's great. That's a win-win situation, especially if the values are right. But I was just putting people in position. And what happened was the excitement was there at first and people were doing great jobs at first. But you have to understand this, that excitement will wear off. It's kind of like one position where I had somebody was like social media. And social media is a very tedious job. And at first, I can do social media. I can easily do this. And as long as the excitement's there, that person was going hard. But as soon as the excitement wore it off, when it got like the commitment, the mood wore off that they set it in, then they started to get very lackadaisical. They started to not care as much. And that's what happens a lot when you hire friends and families when they're not qualified for that position. And then I went to hire on the flip side, I went to hire qualified, skilled people that didn't care about the brand. And that's a mistake because they're not invested in your mission. They're not invested in whatever it is that you're doing. So for me, Rehab Time was attractive for people at some point, right? Or maybe They saw some in me. They saw the potential in me. Oh, let me be a part of this. But they really wasn't invested in the mission. They really wasn't invested in rehab time. They really didn't understand. It wasn't really in their heart. And so what happened is that they were operating from a skilled position, very skilled, but they didn't have the passion inside them at the same time. And so what I've learned in hiring people now is you want to find people that one have the same values, right? As far as the company, you want to find people. So for me, I'm very like I look for people who rehab time or myself has affected personally, because I know they understand the impact of rehab time. I know they understand the impact of like my videos or my work. So let's take, for example, Brenda Cardenas is a great example. So Brenda, I don't know if y'all know this story, but Brenda, and why she was a great hire for me, Brenda was affected by rehab time, right? She'll tell you this. Rehab time helped change her life and her family's life. And so before she even was a part of it, she was affected by it. So she believes in it wholeheartedly. She believes in it wholeheartedly. And so Brenda came on as a volunteer, and Brenda put in her work, and Brenda grew. And Brenda necessarily, I put Brenda in positions that maybe she wasn't skilled at first, but Brenda has a mind of learning. Brenda has a mind of growing. So to wrap this up, you don't always have to have people who are necessarily always skilled at that position, but maybe they're skilled at learning. Maybe they're skilled at growing. Like I'm a person where I might not know how to do it, but I promise you I can learn how to do it. I promise you I can immerse myself how to do it. So think about that when you're hiring. So a question that you might be thinking right now is, well, Trent, what if I don't have the money to hire people? Because I didn't have the money to hire people at one point. The thing I would tell you is this. There's a few ways you can do this. One, the best way is, like I said, find volunteers who believe in the mission. To say, you know what? I don't need money right now, but I believe in what you do. I want to help you grow. And there's certain things that you can even give people equity in your company if you want to. That's the way I say, hey, you can have this amount of percentage in my company. I know I can't pay you right now, but I want to take care of you. So here's equity in my company. These are things that you can do, right? But you want to find people or somebody that's working an internship. Internships are beautiful because people need credits for their classes. And so say you find a kid that's in college, say, hey, can you come work for my organization? And so that's a whole process in itself. You guys can ask questions about that. I don't want to take an hour talking about this. So second thing is I hired the wrong people. Third thing that I did was I overlooked the small things. And this it's not contradicting to the first thing we talked about, but this is more of foundational things that you have to do, you need to do. And so I overlooked, the taxes. I overlooked the importance of having I wouldn't say a financial advisor, but a CPA handling my taxes. I overlooked all of those things. I overlooked LLC and I overlooked being a nonprofit at first. I overlooked being a 501c3, and I was just operating just to operate. And so if I could go back, I would have did those things quicker for tax purposes. I would have set a foundation quicker instead of just operating aimlessly. I would have been more intentional about where I wanted to take things. I would have been more intentional about setting goals. I would have been more intentional about hitting certain marks. Okay. Whether that's, hey, we want to reach this amount of people. Hey, we want to grow this much. We want to do this and do that. I feel like when I first started, I was just living aimlessly. I wasn't living intentional with my company and with my business. And I think what happens when you do that, as a leader, you don't give direction to the people that are around you, to your employees or to your interns, whatever it may be. And that everybody's just operating just to operate. It ended up working for me. But if I could go back, I would have definitely had more focus and definitely been more intentional in saying, okay, we want to go here, not locked into where we can adjust, because adjustment is very key, but to be more locked in on the small things, say, hey, we want to go here. This is our destination. I would have LLC'd quicker, whether it's a sole proprietorship with S Corp, figure that out for yourself and what that means to you, or a 501c3. I would have got official quicker for sure. Fourth thing that I did, the mistakes that I made. Not a lot of people want to tell you about the mistakes, man. A lot of people want to tell you about the good things, but I want to tell you the mistakes so you don't make the same mistakes I did. The fourth thing that I did was, and guys, I want to be clear. This is not going to be a high level training. I know sometimes you're used to that with me. This is very tactical. I'm going to take my time with it so you guys can get this information, because these are things that you definitely need to know and apply to your business, your company, your organization. The fourth thing is, I listen to too many opinions, guys. And when God gives you a vision, when God gives you clarity, don't question it. Okay, I'm not saying you shouldn't be open to other people's ideas, because you should. You shouldn't be a closed box. But I allowed people to take rehab time in a direction that I didn't want to take it. And I was being too much of the nice guy. Oh, I want everybody's ideas. I want everybody to feel a part. You can make everybody feel a part without having everybody lead something. Okay, so we did tours that I wanted to do, but I was letting someone run a tour that wasn't really a reflection. It was still in the values, but it wasn't really how I would do it. And I feel like that tour was great, but that tour didn't have the impact it should have had. Okay, because I listen to too many opinions. I listen to people say, you should do more videos about this. You should open up this. You should do that. Da, da, da. And it was stretching myself thin. Okay, so listening to too many opinions can really burn you out. It can get you off track from where you want it to go. Guys, ask questions at the end. Okay, by the way, because I'm not going to answer the questions right now. Okay, because I'm wrapped up in this. So ask your questions at the end. We'll have time for it. The fifth thing the mistake that I made, the fifth one, is I should have made more sacrifices to invest in my business. Meaning, I'm not telling you to go empty your bank account. I'm not telling you to go broke, but I would tell you to like not play as much, right? Maybe you say, okay, I'm not gonna go out to eat as much, or I'm not gonna, get wrapped up in my hobbies as much or leisure as much. And I'm gonna take that money I would spend on leisure, and I'm gonna take that money to invest in a business, to invest in my business, to invest in myself, to invest in my personal growth, whatever it may be. And some of you are doing that right now by being a part of the inner circle. But for me, I don't know. I feel like I was so afraid to invest in my business. And maybe that was a confidence thing, not realizing that this was a real thing for me at first. But the more I invested in my business, the more my business grew. Okay. And if you're doing the right thing, as I like to say, if you plant the seed, if you water the seed, then the crop has to grow. And so those are 5 things that I would tell you that that are some mistakes that I made that I don't want you to make. If that makes any sense to you. Hey, what up, Betty? How you doing? What up, what up, what up? Transparent is so gangster. You need to learn how to say no, I agree. So let's get into some things that you could do, all right, that will help you grow your business, okay, or organization. When I say business, I mean whatever title you want to give it. Organization, business, ministry, whatever you want to do, it still is a business at the end of the day because you get taxed. So the first thing that I would tell you to do, write these things down, guys, is education. Okay, education is very important. Under education, I want you to write this down. Know your industry that you're in. I see this mistake happen so much that people say, I want to be a speaker, or people say, I want to write books, but they don't know their industry. People say, I want to be a social media influencer, but they don't know their industry. You need to become an expert at your industry. Understand how it works. Understand how it works. Because a lot, like I always say that there's no need to reinvent something when it's already been invented. Okay. I see so many people that are not knowledgeable in what they want to do. Immerse yourself. Go learn. There's a place called YouTube University where you can learn. If you have the money, you have the funds, I would tell you to go to conferences, get a mentor in that particular field that you're trying to get into. Trust me, do it. Educate yourself. Know your industry in and out. You want to immerse yourself in it, period. Okay. Number 2, on the education part, is know your audience. Okay. Know your audience. And one thing I like to do, so when I start out with rehab time and when I realized like this was my purpose, I wanted to become a category king. I wanted to become a category king because I wanted to, have my purpose and I wanted to stay in that box with it. So my purpose is still self-worth. So when people thought of self-worth, I want them to think of rehab time. Just like when you think of shoes, you think of Nike or you think of Adidas. When people thought of self-worth, I wanted them to think of rehab time. So I know I had to immerse myself for one in that space, and I know I had to create content in that space to become that category king in that area. I don't know if I'm the category king, but I know I'm one of them when it comes to self-worth, when it comes to realness, when it comes to motivation in that area. But on the flip side, not even on the flip side, but on a deeper level, I know my audience. I know my audience. If you ask me who my audience is, I'll tell you right now. I know my audience is between 18 to 34, my main audience. I know some of you might be older or younger, but I know my main audience is that. I know my main audience is in anything that you do when it comes to worth, it's always going to be more women. It just is what it is. A lot of men are too masculine to be able to say, I need help with self-worth. So I understand it. I know I don't cater to women, but I know when it comes to self-worth and working on yourself, women tend to be in that field more. So I know that. I know also that people who follow me, a lot of people are, majority of people are going through pain, right? Majority of people are going through struggle. Majority of people are in a time in their life where they're having a hard time. I know my audience. So I got to make sure I feed my audience. I got to make sure I give my audience what they need. Okay? I see so many people that don't know their audience. They're aimless. It's like if you went fishing, right? And you say, I want to go catch some, you can be, if you went fishing and you can go out there with any type of bait, you can throw your fish, whatever, and you might catch whatever. But if you say, hey, I'm going out there to catch catfish because I know I'm going to catch catfish, and you prepare to catch catfish, you will catch catfish, right? So it's the same thing with your audience. Listen, I can talk about business stuff. I can talk about so many things. I can talk about fitness stuff. But I know the majority of my audience, right? They don't care about that. So I give them what they need. Then once I give them what they need, as an inner circle, you guys get all of this. Then I pull them in and give them what they want, should I say. And then once they come in, I make sure I give them what they need. Okay, so understand that when it comes to knowing your audience, know it. Know your field, know your competitors, all of that. I believe my competition is nobody else. So don't spend too much time comparing your life, but just know it. Okay, third thing, that's very important. I should have brought some water in here. It's hot. Third thing is know your UA. Okay, UA is your unique ability, aka your magnet, pretty much. The more you can stay in your unique ability, the more you can the more you can grow and impact lives, okay, and grow your business. When you start out, it's very hard to stay in your unique ability because you're trying to do so many things, right? So when I first started, I was shipping out merch. I was doing this. I was doing that. I had so many hats on that I couldn't focus on my unique ability, which is creating content, which is creating videos, which is inspiring the world with my voice. That's my unique ability. I understand that. I understand that, that's where I'm going to make the biggest change in this world is by creating content or writing books, right? To bringing value to the world through my voice, through my message. But it was very hard starting out because there were so many other things that I was doing that I had to do at that time. And so kind of like with hiring people, the thing I would tell you to do is write a circle and put, your unique ability. And a unique ability, I would write out, right, things that you're doing right now, right? Maybe you're running your emails. Maybe you are running your marketing if you're doing that. Maybe you are shipping out merchandise. Maybe you're creating your own videos and editing, right? All of these things. And I would write down a list of things and starting from most important, I'm trying to figure out the best way to say that. I would write a list of things of what's important in a way of who you need to hire or bring in an intern that can take this off your plate, that will help you become more in your unique ability, right? What is it? Is it someone to run your social media? I run my own social media, by the way, because I like it. Is it someone that you need that's more of a business-minded person that can help you structure your business right? Only I don't know everybody's business here or what you're trying to do, but what can you hire or what can you bring in internship that can take things off your plate? Because as long as you're doing everything I'm gonna tell you right now, you're spreading yourself thin, it's gonna be hard to actually make the impact that you can make. So understand your unique ability and understand the things that you're doing that's taken away from your unique ability. And think about, how can I bring people in position to help me so I don't have to do everything? Because as long as I'm doing everything, I can't do the one thing that brings impact to the world, that helps grow the business, that helps grow the business so I can bring in more revenue to hire other people that can make the business even grow further and stronger. Okay, so education. That's the first thing I would tell you today. Education. Listen, we're gonna ask questions. I'm kind of running through this because I want to take you guys' questions and work from there. But education, all right? So know your industry, know your audience, know your unique ability. Second part that's very important in growing your business online, okay? Or just even offline, but I'm an online guy, so I'm gonna talk about it with that. The second thing is marketing, okay? Marketing. I break marketing down simply into 3 areas. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I spend very minimal money on ads. I mean, little to none. Very minimal on ads. I'm not a guy that's spent a lot of dollars on marketing or, doing this or doing that. I'm a firm believer. Is that if you create it and it's impactful enough, the people will come. All right. The support will come. I'm a firm believer in that. I'm a firm believer in being that magnet. So I didn't have to spend a lot of money on marketing. I still don't to this day. There's a lot of people who believe different and will teach you different, but I'm not teaching a marketing class right now. So there's three ways to market. Number one that I believe in is self-marketing. And we've talked about this in influencer training. Self-marketing is what I'm doing right now. Y'all see it, right? I'm going to be a reflection of my business. I'm going to be a reflection of my purpose. I'm going to be a reflection. There you go. My videos are my ads. There you go. Perfect. That's great to say. I'm going to be a reflection of it. Okay. So self-marketing is you. And the problem that a lot of people have when growing their company, they're a direct contradiction of what they say their business is. I see people who are, in the business of fitness. Nothing wrong with it. But I can tell, not by the size or anything like that, but I can tell that it's just a business for them. It's not real for them because they're not a reflection of that business. I've seen people in the motivational world. I can tell that motivational speaking is a job for them. They're not a reflection of the things that they speak about. Okay, so one of the best forms of marketing is self-marketing. So when someone looks at you, as I always like to say, if you couldn't say one word, what would your life speak? What would your life speak? I don't have to sell t-shirts. I never sell a t-shirt. How I sell my t-shirt is I believe in these things, right? How many times have you heard me say know your circle? And you guys understand the context of know your circle. So you don't buy the shirt because it says know your circle. You get the shirt because of what know your circle entails. It all starts with you, the shirt we just released. You don't buy the shirt because, I know it's a cool design too, but you don't just buy it because of it says it all starts with you. You buy it because you know it all starts with you mean, and you believe in that meaning of it. Okay, so self-marketing is the greatest form of marketing. Okay, that's number one. Number two, okay, supporter marketing. Supporter marketing. What is supporter marketing? Simple. Supporter marketing is you guys. You guys believe in it so much that you guys market it. You know how many times I've had people say, Trent, I seen your video through someone else. Trent, my friend, I've had this in speaking. Trent, I seen you on the stage because my friend shared you and I just saw you and I had to bring you in to speak. Supporter marketing. Hey, Trent, you know what? I saw somebody wearing your shirt and I asked them like where they got that shirt from and they said it was you. Supporter marketing. When it comes to supporter marketing, a lot of people struggle with that, or a lot of businesses don't have that. It's because they don't pour into their supporters. You guys know I believe in what you guys do. You guys are my family. I try to take as much time as I can to pour into you guys because I'm thankful, whether it be spending hours with you guys at their events, whether it be, being in my DM, trying to respond to as many messages as possible, because I know I'm only one person, but I know you guys carry the brand if you guys believe in it. Okay. So the second form of marketing is supporter marketing. I think it's one of the most powerful forms, if not the most powerful form, because that's when someone takes your brand, takes your idea, takes your business, and they share it with the world that wouldn't have known about you otherwise else. Okay, the third form of marketing is relationship marketing. And some people call it affiliate marketing, but I call it relationship marketing. This is just building relationships with people in your industry, in your field. I have a lot of relationships with people, whether it be through podcasts, whether it be, building relationships, real relationships, and not the fake, phony, I'm going to use your relationship. I'm going to present something that, like, I'm going to fake support you so I can really take away from or take your audience or whatever, like a real relationship with people. And the more you build real relationships, it pays off. It does at the end of the day, because you're supporting them genuinely. They want to support you genuinely. And that's how it works. And I have so many of those. So build relationships with people in your industry, in your field, or just in general. Network marketing is great. Not like the network marketing as far as like Herbalife or something like that. Nothing wrong with that neither. But I'm talking about just network marketing with people in general is great. Okay, so that's my take on marketing. One trait that I would push all of you to understand, and this word is like, it's kind of like a negative word people take, but persuasion. I would tell all of you guys to really get good at persuading people. And whether you know it or not, when you sell something, whatever you're selling, like a lot of you can sell me on the Game of Thrones. Be like, Trent, it's the greatest TV show. Like, I ain't never seen great Game of Thrones, but you guys can sell me on it. You guys can sell me your favorite movie, your favorite food, your favorite whatever. But a lot of people can't sell, I'm gonna use the word sell, on their own business, on their own company. I think one of the reasons is because they don't really believe in it themselves. So understand this, you can't be persuasive without belief. You can't convince someone without belief. Same thing when I did this, the inner circle. If I went in there not living it, not breathing it, not believing in it, there's no way you would have signed up. You signed up because I convinced you that this would really help your life, because I know it will. I know it is, right? And so there's no way you can convince somebody to buy your shirt, to follow you, to bring you in to speak, to whatever it may be, to watch your videos, if you're not believing it in yourself. So one trait that I would definitely tell you to do is get more persuasive. And the only way you're going to get in a positive way, I'm not talking about some negative persuasive, some salesmen, car salesman, stuff like that. I'm talking about positive persuasive, is you have to believe in it as much as you can. All right, you have to believe it, you have to live it, you have to breathe it, you have to be it. Because when it's a part of you, people believe in it too. Okay? So that's one thing I would say when it comes to marketing, is to get great at. Man, I need some water. I don't have any here. Man, it's hot. Sorry, guys. So we talked about education. We talked about marketing. And let me hurry up and get through this so I can take you guys' questions, because that's going to be the best part. The last part is I want to explain how you can make revenue. How you can make revenue when it comes to social media. Okay, when it comes to being an influencer. And there's so many other ways, but I'm going to break down exactly the avenues that I make revenue, my top 7. Okay, I don't have any water here, so we're going to wait to get water. The top 7 things, okay, that I do to bring in revenue for my life. And I'm going to kind of talk about how I did each one of these things real briefly, and I'm going to take some questions. So number 1, okay, speaking. Okay, I get paid to speak. Does that mean that I only do speaking engagements I get paid for? Absolutely not. I do so many free speaking engagements, but I created enough impact in the world where companies will bring me in to speak. And so many people ask, how do I get to a place where I'm getting paid to be a speaker? Do what I did. Go put in the road work for several years. Go throw your own events for several years, right? Go speak for free to schools, to anywhere, nursery. I don't care. I said nursery homes. Anywhere, right? Go spread your word for free. A lot of people want the perks, but they don't want to pay the price. The reason why people bring me in to speak now is because my value has went up. My demand has went up. And I've been doing it for so long. But you literally can make money from speaking, right? That's an avenue that I get paid for to speak. Okay, second thing is merchandise. We bring in revenue through merchandise. One of the best ways to do it is to start small. And if you're into merchandise and that's something that you want to do, I'll tell you right now, invest. And these are one of these things, like, you need to invest in a great graphic designer, guys. Like, I'm very picky on it. Like I care one about the message, to make people believe in the message and what it stands for, but also I care about the design. I care about the shirt quality. I care about all of these things. Like, when you get a rehab shirt, I don't want it to be some shirt that you wash one time and you cannot wear it forever. I am not cheap when it comes to merchandise, and I've always been like that. I always said I'm never going to sell somebody something that I wouldn't wear myself. Okay? That I wouldn't wear myself. And I see a lot of companies, a lot of influencers do that. They're so into profit margin that they will buy the cheapest version of a shirt. Nothing against Gildan, but like the Gildan version. And listen, if you're at that, that's all you can afford. Nothing wrong with that at all. Okay, I'm not saying I'm against that, but I know a lot of people that they're so into profit margin. When I first started, it wasn't about profit margin. Literally, it was about getting my message out, having people feel the shirt, get the shirt. And I knew once they got the shirt, they like, dang, this shirt feels good. Yeah, see, your t-shirts are so soft. Like, I want this shirt. I would wear this shirt every single day. And I care about that, okay, when it comes to merchandise. So if you're trying to start merchandise, invest in a good graphic designer. My graphic designer is pretty expensive. He is, just to be real with you. But I know in having a good graphic designer and good designs that design will sell itself also when people see it. I'm not gonna put out some bad design because it's cheaper so I can make more money, but the design sucks at the end of the day. So if you're in merchandise, you got to make sacrifices. You know, I was losing money because I would give shirts away for free at that time because I wanted to spread the brand awareness. But I was willing to do that. I was willing to not buy stuff for myself in leisure. As I said, make more sacrifices, right? Investing. I said, you know what? I'm not going to buy these things for myself. I'm not going to buy those pair of Jordans. Instead of buying those pair of Jordans, I'm going to invest this into a design. I'm going to invest this into, and a lot of this design that it all starts when you was like 5 years old. When you have a great design, you can reuse that design, okay? So second thing was merchandise. Third avenue is coaching. Obviously, you know that because you guys are here. Coaching is built over time. I tell people you have to put in the work. This is year 10 and this is my first year with coaching. Okay? So put in the work, but you can make revenue through coaching. That's another avenue. Okay? Fourth is being a consultant. It took me 10 years to be a consultant, but I just got my first consulting job Tuesday. What's today? Yeah, Thursday. And I got paid to come in there and teach a church how to run social media. And the only way I knew how to do it is because I put in the work. See what I'm saying? See how that works? Churches, companies, organizations, they're looking for people. And especially if you have an expertise because you've been through it, because you've been doing it. If you have an expertise in it, people will pay you for that. People pay you to solve problems, guys. That's just how it works. People pay you to solve problems, okay? The fifth avenue that I make revenue in is courses. I have one course out right now. I'm working on my next one. But a course, okay? You can create courses online for people. Like I said again, bringing a solution to someone's problem. You can make courses, okay? Sixth way, which you guys know this too, is books. Whether it's self-published, I did the self-publishing route for a while. Whether it be C. Martin in my past, I had a few ebooks on Kindle, and I made revenue through self-publishing. Now, the greatest you is traditionally published. And just to be totally transparent with you, once you build your brand, and like I said, I've been doing this for 10 years. Again, it wasn't an overnight thing. And once you build it, as I said, you become that magnet. Now they want you. And when they're coming to you, you name the price. You tell them, nah, I'm not doing this unless I know my worth. And this is what I want from it, instead of going to beg people for that. So, and they pay you to write books, if you don't know that. All right. They pay you to write books, especially when you have a brand that's valuable in their eyes. Okay. The seventh thing that we make revenue at is content. Okay. This is the simplest thing. This is the easiest investment. Whether it's YouTube, whether it's Facebook, IGTV, pretty soon, I'm sure, is literally they will pay you, right, to create content. How does that work? Somebody already said is I have ads in my videos. You guys see it. They pay you for those ads, right? YouTube gets a percentage, you get a percentage. Facebook get a percentage, you get a percentage. IGTV is coming soon. Whether you have a blog, right? You can have a blog and you can put ads on your blog through Google. What is it? Google, not Google Pay, but I can't think of the name right now. My brain's getting a little foggy. But literally, you can make money through your content, and that's a free investment. You're not putting no money in except your time, creating content, and they'll pay you for it. And the eighth way is events, and events carried us for a while. I haven't done any events this year, but we put on our own events. And you might say, well, Trent, I don't have the audience. I put on events with 10 people, by the way, guys. And it was the revenue I brought in for that would help me, bring in an intern, that would help me invest in merchandise, that would help me, pay someone to edit a video or pay someone to shoot a video, that literally would help grow my brand. And events is a great way to bring in that. An event doesn't have to be some on stage with lights, cameras, and everybody jumping around and stuff like that. An event can literally be a meetup. Mine was called Live Conversations. I would go find a free room, or I would go rent out a library space that costs minimal money, like $40 or $20 for 2 hours. I would rent out that library space. I would bring people in, and we have a live conversation. And what a live conversation was me talking, me having a topic, whether it be championship mindset or me telling my story, and then we would conversate. And that's how I built it. And so right there is 8 streams of revenue, 8 that anybody could do, okay? Anybody can do. Now, some of these streams take time to build. I understand and I get that. It took me 10 years to do some of these things, but that's just 8. There's tons of more that you could do. So think about that when it comes to, if I'm you right now, I'm writing down all the avenues I could use to actually build my business through social media. I'm writing down all the ways that I could bring in revenue because, like I said, you guys know me. It should never be about the money, right? You shouldn't make decisions based upon money. You should make decisions based upon impact. But you have to understand this. With no revenue, you don't have a company. With no revenue, I'm not able to produce video, right? With no revenue, I'm not able to impact more lives. With no revenue, I'm not able to hire people so I can live more in my unique ability so I can give my gift to the world. Okay, so I really want you guys to understand that, making money is very, very possible through social media. I mean, there's so many other ways I can tell you where brands will pay you. Literally, they will pay you to post their content. Like if I wanted to, I can tell Sonic to hit me up and be like, hey, I'm going to post about your movie. But I'm not going to do that because that's kind of outside of what I want to do. But my wife, she's an influencer where now she's making more money by working with brands than she made at her real job. All right, than she made at her real job, by the way. So online marketing, online business, social media influencer, whatever you want to call it, is very, very possible. It's very, very possible, guys. And so, but again, this isn't possible. What I talked about today, if you don't put into place the things that we've been talking about, right? If you don't understand, what impact is for you, the impact training, right? All these things. The reason I'm able to do all these things now is because of that impact that I've created. It's because of the consistency that I put in. It's because of the commitment that I put in over the years. It's because of the discipline of me living it, not just talking it, but me actually living it and breathing it and being it and working on myself, being here. Like it's like I had to come to this training, right? I had to give you guys this training, but it's a holiday weekend. I was at the gym earlier this morning. I went to my son's football game where I coach just before I came on here. I'm here. And then after this, I'm going to pick up the family food. Like all of these things, right? You have to live it because when you live it, it's easier to teach it. It's easy to preach it because you're actually practicing it. But if you think that you're going to create all these streams of revenue just because, I have an idea and Trent talked about this, and it's not going to work. You have to put in the work, and the most important work you ever will put in is on yourself. And so I just wanted to kind of come on here and give you guys some extra credit stuff. And I've never told people. This is my first time telling people exactly how we're able to sustain, exactly how we're able to actually grow our business. I'm able to hire people and give people jobs that have families. Like that's proud for me. I'm able to reach out to a rehabber and say, here's some money for you to help your life. Like I'm able to reward people for sharing our content. Like those things are cool things for me. Like bringing in money for myself, that means absolutely nothing for me, to be honest with you. I want to live comfortable with my family, but I'll tell you this, I don't take a dollar. I don't take a dollar from Rehab Time merch. Not 1 cent goes to me. Not 1 cent of any part of Rehab Time goes to me. How I make my personal money and revenue is through speaking engagements and it's through my book deal. Everything else goes back into my business. Even my speaking stuff, it still goes back into my company. But I don't touch a dollar from merchandise. Merchandise literally goes to help us create content. It goes to provide jobs for people to help to create that content. And it goes back into the community, period. Right? And I'm able to do these things by everything we talked about throughout coaching throughout this whole entire year. I just wanted to do this to give you some ideas to spark, man, I actually can do this. I can turn my pain into my profit. What? And that all was built from the foundation of me losing my life, me losing football, with me hitting my rock bottom, with me literally building this from the ground up with my supporters' help, with God's help, obviously. So think about that, okay? And I know this was kind of like, it wasn't a high-level training. I didn't want it to be like that. I really wanted to take my time and say, like, with education. So if I'm you right now, this is what I'm doing, to recap. And I'm going to take questions in a minute. If I'm you right now, I'm whatever industry outside I want to be in, whether it's speaking, whether it's all of these things, like you say, okay, I want to be like you, Trent. I want to be an influencer. I'm going to know my industry. I'm going to research. I'm going to spend an hour a day learning tools, learning strategies, etc. Knowing the second thing in the education part, I'm going to know my audience, right? If you don't know who you're speaking to, how can you speak to those people, right? Don't just cast a wide net. Be very focused. Say, you know what? I'm going to focus on being the category king of this. Like I want people, when they think of self-worth, I want people to think of Trent Shelton, okay? When they think of depression and someone who can give a word to them, I want people to think of Trent Shelton, okay? So what are people going to think of you for? That's a great question to ask yourself. The third thing is, in the education part, is know your unique ability. What's your unique gift? My unique gift is speaking, is giving a message, whether it's through written form, whether it's through content form, or whether it's through live form. That's my unique gift, my unique ability, should I say. And as I've grown Rehab Time, and it's funny how this works, the more I've been able to be in my unique ability, the more Rehab Time has grew over time. Because now I've been able to bring people in and take off my plate, right? I have a merchandise person. So I brought him, as you can see, and this is a perfect example. So I was handling merch, and I had to let go of merch because I wasn't in my unique ability. It was just taking too much, and that's why we haven't put out a lot of merch. So I said, you know what? I'm going to hire somebody. I'm going to hire somebody that takes care of merchandise, that fully takes care of it, where I don't have to touch it at all. And I did that, and our last release, What It All Starts With You, has been the biggest release ever in Rehab Time history, ever. Because I wasn't afraid to not push it, because there's been times where I've been like, dang, I'm going to have to ship out all this. And it was giving me anxiety. So I say, you know what? I'm going to strategize. We're going to put it in place where a scarcity method, which is true, and that's a part of business, by the way, is scarcity. And it works for us because now I don't have a whole bunch of inventory. Literally, after today, you cannot get that red shirt at all. I actually extended it because people were begging me to do it. But you cannot get It All Starts With You red shirt. And some of you already got it because I told you about it first. But literally, you cannot get it anymore, period, anymore. And so I was able to push it because I knew I had people in position to handle it. I now have somebody responding to the emails, all of these things. So now it's like off my plate. All I gotta do is push it. And so I say that because it allows me to be more in my unique ability than I ever have been. All right. Next part, marketing. If I'm you, all right, I'm thinking about self-marketing. How can I market better for myself? Like as far as to the world, how can I live it more? How can I breathe it more? How can I be it more? Because I know I'm a reflection of my brand, of my company. Am I being a reflection of my brand, of my company? Okay? That's a question to ask yourself. 2, supportive marketing. How can I pour into my audience more so they can support it for me, so they can buy the shirt, so they can spread the word, so they can share the videos? Third thing is I'm asking myself is who do I know in my field or who can I reach out to I can build relationships with where we can actually support each other and grow each other and help each other. There's 7 billion people in this world. There's enough room for everybody, by the way. Okay, and the avenues for revenue that I have right now, there's so many others, but you can make revenue through speaking, you can make revenue through merchandise, you can make revenue through coaching, whether that's group coaching, which we're doing right now, or it's one-on-one coaching, which I have also. My one-on-one coaching is very limited because I don't have time to coach everybody one-on-one, obviously. 4, consultation, right? People will bring you in to teach them. Companies will bring you in to teach them how to do something. So understand what your unique ability is and get really great at it. 5 is courses, right? Create courses for people. Courses are great. 6, books. You can write books. 7 is content. Literally, they will pay you for content. And 8 is events. Okay, you can do events. And like I said, that's not limited to. There's other avenues where we do bring in revenue, but those are the main avenues where I bring in revenue. 8 streams that I do. Some of them I don't do as much. Some of them I'm not as good as. Obviously, my best avenue is probably content. That's where I'm best at. I know that. But there's so many avenues, guys. So what I want to do right now is we've been over 56 minutes. Dang. I want to take questions. Okay. So let's go ahead and ask questions right now. I'm in the chat box. I'm going to take your questions for probably about the next 20 to 30 minutes. And I want to answer questions for you guys dealing with this bonus influencer training. So I am in here right now. So let's go. And oh, yeah, let me be clear. I wouldn't attack all avenues at once. I would tell myself, okay, what's one avenue that will create more avenues for me? So speaking created all these other avenues for me. You know, I wouldn't say start with 8 off top and be like, because then you're spreading yourself thin. So start with 1. Okay, cool. Did you have to trademark your brand? Yes, I did trademark it. I'm not going to tell you that it's important, but it's not important. I'm not going to say it's not important. It's important, but there's so many ways you can trademark stuff, whether you put it in written form, in books, that makes it copyrighted. But yes, I would definitely tell you to do that. LLC in it is a great way to do it also. Okay, how do I balance my spiritual life with my personal development knowledge? What do you mean by that, Shelly? Be more, I mean, you said it pretty clear, but say it a different way so I can understand it a little bit better. Should I take certification courses on starting a business? It depends what business you're doing it in. I'm gonna just be real. I'm not saying not to. I think it helps. It's not gonna hurt if you do it. But I never took a course on how to be a speaker. I never did. I never took a course on, it depends on the person that you are. I'm a type of person that I can figure it out. Like I'm that guy. Like I can, whatever you throw at me, I can figure it out. I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna immerse myself in it. I'm gonna find other people that are in it already. That's the best way. I'm gonna find somebody, even if I have to pay them. Like, hey, can I have an hour of your time or 2 hours of your time, or a week of your time, or a month of your time to teach me how to do it, to teach me the ins and outs. And that's the way I'll do it. So I'm not a firm believer in, I'm not gonna say that because I don't want to talk you out of that. But for me, it was me teaching myself and me learning from other people and paying other people for their time, or me volunteering to get around other people that I can learn from, or me just paying attention and looking at, okay, cool, this is how you do this. Okay, cool. This is what this person is doing. Oh, okay, I get it. So I self-taught myself a lot. Any plans for a journal, Trent? Yes, Robin, we have the journal coming very soon. That is in the works. So yes, we have a journal coming. Can we watch this again? You sure can. Just come to the same link anytime you want. Did you create your mission and purpose statements before you start? So great question, Rain. Did I create yes, I did create it. And I felt that I took so much time trying to create that. Like I was trying to find the right way to write it and stuff like that. And the funny thing about it is the only people are going to really see that is you. Like, I don't think I've had anybody ever ask me like, hey, what's your mission statement? Ever. What you need to understand is how to explain what you do. You know, people call it elevator pitch if you're trying to sell something, but I think you need to explain what you do and what it stands for. Like, I think whatever words you want to put that in. So with Rehab Time, we just help people put their strength back into their weakness. That's what Rehab Time is all about. Everybody has something in their life that they can rehab. When it comes to me, when people ask, like, what do you do? Really, I help people turn their pain into their power in whatever way they need it, whatever avenue. So I think once you understand what you do, it's more of a, mission statements and vision statements are more for your team to make sure. But I think creating a, like, I don't believe in the whole structure, like, how they tell you to write it out. My mission is that, like, nothing against that if that's for you, but me, it's more like, okay, what am I going to remember? What am I going to really, like, remind myself of? And for me, it's that, like, we help put strengths back into people's weaknesses. That's what we do. We want to rehab the world. How do you find your mentor contacts and networks? So Pam, one of the best ways to do that is, I always say, bring value. So I would just do research. I would, whether it be a speaker. So a speaker might be, and it's funny because I met all these people. But if I looked at speakers, so even if it's not a famous person, or like my dad. My dad is a pastor, and so my dad is one of my mentors, and I've studied my dad. So, like, how can I be a better speaker? I've asked him questions, or I just sat back and I watched. And you can find so many mentors through books, guys, like through podcasts these days, through audiobooks. And you can learn so much about so many industries just by doing your research. And hopefully you'll get to a point where your mentors become your friends, become your colleagues. I mean, Les Brown was a guy that when I saw him first speak, just being as a black man, I was like, man, I want to do what he does. And I've worked with Les Brown. John Maxwell, you guys know that he's a guy that when it came to books and quotes, and when it came to the balance of like personal development and spiritual development, he was a guy I looked up to because he was in both. And so now I've worked with John Maxwell. But what got me in the room is me creating enough, me creating that magnet. What got me in the room? They wouldn't have brought me on stage or anything like that, 10 years ago. It was me actually putting in the work. And so just to let you know it's possible. But another way you can get into the room with people is volunteer. I can't stress this enough. Reach out and say, hey, I have people do this with me. I've had people do this with me, and it works because I'm always looking for volunteers. Like, hey, Trent, like, can I come to an event and just help? Like, can I come shadow you for a day? People ask me, like, yeah, cool, you can do it. Can I come to your office and just watch how you work? Or can I be around you for a day? I'll pay you. I don't charge people for that, but people like, hey, I'll pay you for this, or I'll do this for you. Like, or I'll work for you for free for 6 months or a year. So whatever it takes to get yourself in the room, get yourself in the room. But you're only getting in the room if you bring value to other people. All right. When it comes to reaching out to influencers on Instagram, I'm not offering a flat. I am not offering a flat fee. I'm offering a 10% commission. Any tips or advice you can give to me about Instagram influencers? So Norma said, when it comes to reaching out to influencers on Instagram, I'm not offering a flat fee. I'm offering 10% commission. Okay. So are you? So Norma, are you saying like, for what you do, as far as I don't know exactly what is it that you do that you're offering influencers? Like, what's your business? Can you come shadow me? Yeah, you can. You can come shadow me for sure. We have to work that out. But I always tell people, you're never working for free. What you're doing is you're planting seeds, and you have to just know if you're doing it for the right reason. Okay, you got to make sure your intentions are right. We talked about that in the impact training. You got to make sure your intentions are right. But it always will pay off. There's like every speaking engagement I did for free has paid me back times 10 now. You know why? Because I actually put in the work. When you put in the work, things will, now we have to say no. Like it was a point where I couldn't even get people to bring me in to speak. Now we have to say no 9 times out of 10 times because there's so many requests. There's so many requests for me to do this and me to do that. So you have to know planting the seed, and you water the seed and you do it for the right intentions. As I always say, the harvest will take place at some point. You just got to know that. Okay. So Norma said, okay, cool. 10% of sales commission I meant of what I'm currently selling, outdoor rainbow hacks. Oh, I got you. I got you. Through separate click funnels. I got you. So basically, if you was to hit me up, Norma, you say, hey Trent, if you push this, I'm gonna give you 10% of it if it makes a sale. So I got you. Let me read your question when it comes to influence and tips advice. Okay, cool. So what I would do, so I'm just thinking about myself when people come to me with ideas like that. for one, I would have to know your audience, right? Know the influencers you want to target. Know influencers that will really reflect on what you're doing as far as your hammocks, right? Know someone who really loves in that. So you can hit me up, right? I'm a protect your peace guy, and I'm not trying to sell you on this at all, but I'm a protect your peace guy. So if you come to me, for most times of big influencers, you have to realize they're not really gonna. They already have so many things to push. So for me, I have so many things to push as far as my stuff. It leaves very little room for me to push other people's stuff, especially if it's not something that reflects exactly what I'm doing. So that's why I say no to brands a lot. I have brands hit me up every single day. Trent, we'll pay you $10,000. We'll pay you $5,000. We'll pay you this and this. But I'm like, no, I don't want to do that because it's not really a reflection of what I believe. So when I say get super, so target your influencers. For one, I would find smaller influencers that are in that space of promoting things. So I would find that first, and then I would find people that are in that space, in that life. So when it comes to a hammock, if I'm reading this right, when it comes to a hammock, I would find people who are naturey people, outdoorsy people. I would find that influencer. I would target a small influencer to say, and there's so many ways you can do it. That's why I'm working through this. Maybe you give one for free to one, right? Which, of course, it takes away from you. Of course, you're gonna lose on that a little bit. But if you have somebody, so if you come to a person like me with 1 million followers, more than likely you have to come with free. Say, hey, Trent, I want to give you this for free, but make sure you promote it, because some people will just use it and never promote your stuff. Then it's pointless to give that to them. But I would find an influencer that is in that space, right? That actually it's a part of their lifestyle already. Because if it's a part of their lifestyle, they obviously have people already following them that are into that lifestyle. And those are the people that will actually buy it. Okay? Like, I see it so many times where people were like, oh, I just want to find an influencer that has a lot of followers. But it's kind of stupid to just find somebody who has a lot of followers that's not reflecting of what you're trying to sell or what you're trying to get them to promote, because their audience isn't wrapped around that. It's like somebody coming to me with, some I don't know, some baby lotion. Oh, not baby lotion isn't the right thing, but like I don't know, what's something that a grill. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, of course I like to grill, but people don't follow me for grilling. You know what I'm saying? But if you came to me with like, say like, oh, I have a journal and this journal is perfect for XYZ, it helps you with your mood, your stress, and you know that I'm in the self-worth space and you know my audience can benefit off the journal, then you come to me and say, hey, for every journal you sell, commission XYZ. So hope that helped a bit. Cool. Let's see what else we got. I would love to tour and see the work done. One small is a grocery geek product. Okay, where else we got? Let's take a few more questions. Yes, the gardener's mindset seems crucial, especially, yes, Robin. Yep, the gardener's mindset. You're right. The gardener's mindset is very, very important. You have to, man, it's there you go. I mean, in business, in just life in general, but especially in business, the gardener's mindset is very important, because you're not going to build a business in a day, right? A business doesn't unless you have some crazy thing that happens, like you create a Pokemon Go app and it goes crazy, right? Which they probably been creating apps way before Pokemon Go. But you have to have that gardener's mindset. You got to know growth is taking place. As long as you're watering the seed the right way, right? As long as you know you're putting in the right work. There's so many times where I gave people free shirts. Like, I gave people free shirts, that here you can have it. But I always targeted the people. So for me, it wasn't about finding big time influencers, because I know most times big time influencers, unless I have an agreement with them, unless I know them personally, I talk to them on the phone or I say, hey, are you going to push this? A lot of big time influencers, they get so much stuff, they're not going to push your stuff. They're not. I'd rather find someone who has influence. Influence doesn't mean the amount of followers you have. Influence means how you're impacting the number that you have. So I'd rather find a person that I see that really lives it, breathes it, be, and I know that they have influence because they believe in it, that whatever they wear, that the people who support them or follow them are customers of them will get it too, just because they have that type of influence. Yep, it's so important to find the right audience and trust the thing for your garden. My thing, yeah, It's very important to find the right audience, guys. It's very important to nail down your audience. So that's a big part of education. It's like, okay, what's my audience? Knowing your audience mindset, knowing what your audience, struggles with, like everything. Like I know my audience. I know you guys. I know you guys. So I know what to put out. I know what to put out, not because I'm doing it out of a strategic marketing plan. I'm only putting out stuff I believe in, but I know the correct stuff to put out because I know what you guys struggle with. I know what you guys deal with because my audience is pretty much me, who I used to be, or the things that I currently struggle with. So it's very easy for me to pertain to my audience because I'm in that same place as them, if that makes sense. Shelly said, influence means trust. I love that. Whew, guys, I'm working off a fast today and I am feeling it. Let's take about one more question, and I'm gonna let you guys get out to Memorial Day. Who cooking, man? Like, who gonna send me a plate? That's what I want to know. My audience is who I was 5 minutes ago. I love that. Can you make a shirt wearing in a tee? I have the baseball. This one right, know your circle. So yeah, I can. The next shirt we come out with will be, we did All Stars with you. The next shirt is, man, my brain is so foggy today. Is what is the next shirt? Oh, Never Settle. So I know a lot of you have Never Settled, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna come out with different colors, never before, different little designs. So be on the lookout for it. You had cereal for dinner. What kind of cereal did you have? That depends. If you had, even though I shouldn't be eating it, but you had Captain Crunch with berries. Actually, don't y'all love? This is so random. We talking about Captain Crunch on this training, but like the all berries, man, that's fire. I'll eat a whole box. Do pink shirts. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we'll probably have three shirt colors that you'll be able to choose from. Because operating the merchandise like this, it's very easy for us now to be able to say, okay, here are more colors because we're not having tons of inventory. Actually, it's pretty much a pre-order. You guys don't know that part, but because I have a good relationship with my manufacturer, so we're able to, have things turn around pretty quick. So we'll have different colors you've never seen before. Okay, cool. ClickFunnels. So ClickFunnels is, yeah, I wasn't gonna talk about ClickFunnels and all that today, but I figured how to build a funnel and how you can create your email list. Well, let's talk about that real quick. So, one way to grow, you want an email list, guys. An email list is very important. Social media is great, but when you have an email list, and email, people say, oh, people don't open emails no more. It is true because you have a lot of other stuff, but you still want your email list because if social media died today, what would happen to your business? So your email list. And how do you get people on your email list? You have to make them an unresistible offer. What I mean by that is you have to give them something for free that brings value to their life. Okay, so give them unresistible value. That's a better way to put it. For me, it's the Love Yourself Challenge. You guys have taken that challenge. It's the Commitment Challenge, TrenchChallenge.com. It's a free challenge. The only thing that I get in return from you guys is your email, right? Is your email. And I'm able now to have you in my email so I can communicate with you. So when we have a new shirt, I can communicate with you directly. When I'm releasing a course, I can communicate with you directly. And so ClickFunnels, basically, it'll take forever to talk about that. But I will tell you this. Make sure you have an email, whether it's MailChimp, whether it's ClickFunnels, Infusionsoft. MailChimp is a very cheap one. I think you actually can have it for free for a certain amount of emails. But you want to make sure you're collecting emails with your customers, with your supporters, with your followers. And the best way to do that is give something away for free, whether it be a PDF, whether it be a how-to, whether it be, a challenge, etc. And the more things you can give away for free, because see, a lot of people sign up for the challenge, not because it's just the Love Yourself Challenge, but they say, oh, I could, if I sign up for the challenge, I have a chance to meet Trent or whatever like that. So you want to have something that makes it irresistible. Maybe it's a call with you. Maybe it's a FaceTime with you. Maybe it's a monthly coaching session with you. I don't know, whatever field you're in, but you want to definitely build your email database because that lets you know who your real supporters are. Who really are in tune with what you want to do. because there's a lot of people on social media who just, they like the content that you post, but that's it. They don't. That's where they leave it at. So you want to find out who's really in tune with what you're doing and with your brand. So if you don't have an email list, you're tripping. Get your email list, sign up for MailChimp. That's a quick one that I use for so many years. It's free, it's easy. Then they start to charge you once you hit a certain amount of emails, but something you can start off with. Captain Crunch, white. So y'all want white shirts? Maria told me to put out white shirts. I'm like, nobody want no white shirts. Okay, we'll have that option too. We'll have a white shirt option. We'll have a pink shirt option. We'll have the red option. We'll probably have another option. And so that's coming in like 2 weeks. Thank you guys for supporting. Thank you guys for merchandise is going crazy, man. I'm excited about merch. We're actually coming out with a lot of like little items like water bottles, towels. Like when the next shirt drops, you can go to the store. You be like, dang, that didn't turn up on everything. But a lot of new stuff that you guys can get will be available. So purple, we might just do like all colors and just let you choose. But I'm hungry, guys. I got to go. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. I hope you guys got some value today. Like I said, it was kind of a different training. But, these influencer trainings are just bonus trainings that I just like to give you and show you like just how I've done stuff that I've never talked about in the public that I want to give to you guys. And I think if you take something from today and apply it, I know it will help your life and it will help your business and it will help your brand. Next week, we're gonna come back next week. I'll put out the flyer here soon, probably tomorrow or Tuesday. But next week will be a self-worth training. Will be a training called Know Your Worth. And I'm going to teach you guys what worth is all about and how you can know your worth and how you can actually live your worth. So that will be next week. So I hope you guys are ready. Appreciate you. Let's get it.